Welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Jan Helfeld, and I'm here with the Congresswoman who has just talked to us about social media, but I want to talk to her about taxes and spending. She is Congresswoman McMorris Rodgers, and she's going to tell us about her view on taxes that should be imposed on the American people or not imposed, spending that should be made by the federal government. So thank you for appearing.
Yeah, so good to be with you.
So, your view on taxes and spending, can I get like a general view? Are you in favor of redistribution of wealth?
Well, I support a very limited role for the federal government. I want to empower the individual. And when you ask me about redistribution of wealth, what I want is equal opportunity for everyone in America to succeed. Not equal outcomes, equal opportunity. And that's what I believe is the American dream. It is, if we can have a flatter, fairer, more competitive environment from which people can compete, I think we'd be better off.
So you're basically against the government forcing citizens to pay taxes in order to provide goods and services for other people?
Well,
would that be correct?
I would say that there is a role for the federal government.
I mean, for other people. I mean, transferring wealth, like, for example, farm subsidies.
I think they all need to be reviewed right now. I think the federal government is trying to do all things for all people, and it's just not possible.
How about foreign aid? Would you be in favor of taxing American citizens in order to send money overseas?
I think it needs to be, we need to look at what we're doing in foreign aid. There's some, I support foreign aid for Israel, for example. I believe that they're an important partner and that they need the support of America, that America is its only ally, is Israel's only ally in the Middle East, in a very dangerous part of the world. And I do support us partnering with them. However, there's so many examples where we're sending money to countries that are not our friends. And what I'd like to do is look at it and make sure that we're looking at what the expectation is, what the outcome is that we're hoping to achieve when we get involved.
Were you in favor of the bailout for the bankers at TARP?
No. I voted against. I voted against TARP and the bailout. I don't believe in the government picking winners and losers. Again, I go back to, I want a flatter, fairer environment from which everyone can succeed and prosper.
So you're in favor of some redistribution of wealth in some cases, but not in others. Would that be fair to say?
I believe that there is a role for the federal government, and that there has to be some taxes that are collected by the federal government to fund what's the appropriate role of the federal government. But it needs to be a much more limited role for the federal government. We need, the federal government should be about protecting the citizenry. The number one role of the federal government is to keep us safe.
Let's talk about that. Should the government protect peaceful citizens against people that want to use force to take their money?
What are you referring to?
Well, should the government protect all peaceful citizens against people that want to use force to take their money?
To take their money?
Yeah.
Well, I think of it more in terms of keeping our country safe.
Can you live well if other people can legally gang up on you and forcefully take your money?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Right. So then, doesn't it follow that the government should not forcefully take money from some citizens in order to provide goods and services for others? Because in that case, they're not protecting the American citizens who are peaceful, doing nothing to nobody.
Right. Is there a situation that you're referencing?
Well, any situation where there's redistribution of wealth, where you're taxing the American citizens in order to give money to farmers, or taxing the American citizens in order to give money in foreign aid.
Right.
In those cases, the American taxpayer is not being protected. And you said, I think very correctly, that that's the main function of the government, to protect all peaceful citizens who haven't violated anybody's rights.
Right. Well, I was mentioning to you earlier today that we voted today on the balanced budget amendment, which I think, not that it would solve all our problems, but I do think it would there would be more accountability, more transparency as to what's really going on in the federal government. It would force us to have a debate over priorities and how the federal government spends money and what's the appropriate role of the federal government. So yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
I can answer any more questions.
That's the last question. We have another question.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, and thank you for taking the time to explain these things to us, Congresswoman.